you mentioning how many tournaments he's been winning means he's definitely a strong player, strong up and coming player. But to make the leap from a lower division win at Scrabble Nationals to being third in one of the deeper fields, deeper Division One fields you've seen. I mean, sometimes these things happen early on in open tournaments where you have people leap to the top that end up sort of losing a bunch of steam on the final day. But there are only 3 games left. What? How many games are left?
4 games tomorrow, so there's 5
4?
games remaining total. Yes.
So this is not an instance of that at all.
And
No one
I
is
have hot
killing it.
off the press. Zachary just lost by 3 points, so it may have been a recount situation. He was playing Yuki Loritz, who we have streamed a couple of times, and he lost by 3. So it's a pretty big development. It puts Ben as the sole leader at the top of the field with 12 wins and 3 losses, and it's going to be really interesting to see if Zachary can. Does he go by Zach or Zachary? I got to know in advance.
Zach probably is fine.
I've heard Zach mostly. So Zach basically needs to shake off the 3-point defeat. That can really sting, especially late in a tournament. And he's got to do his best to go win this next game on the stream.
Yeah, it feels like those close losses they feel like 5 losses at the same time.
Absolutely.
But, the best players are really able to shake that off. They're really able to just focus on the next puzzle. And we'll have to see. It's hard to tell sometimes. Even when we're streaming people, we can see their facial expressions. We can see a lot of what they're thinking. It's hard to tell whether somebody is being affected by the last game. It's really just a theoretical, psychological thing. But yeah, I wonder if we're going to see signs of tilt. I know I displayed some of those today in my tournament. So.
I mean, we just saw rampant displays of tilt. Not to give Tim too hard of a time, but some players really their body language really speaks for them. Yeah, that's not really what I anticipate out of Zach. But yeah, this is going to be really cool. I have never even played Zach. Can't say I'm very familiar with this game, so I'm really looking forward to this. I love casting new players.
Yeah, he's back. Honestly, he took some time off. He was always just a strong player. Definitely somebody to look out for in any tournament. He's recently started playing again. He seems driven. He seems improved. So super excited to watch this.
Very cool.
Martin, on the other hand, we did feature him yesterday, was it? On stream. What's his standing right now? Is he somewhere in the middle? A little bit.
Well, it's kind of like the last round matchup where Zach has played a lot of the top people, and he's playing people a little further down. So Martin, let's verify, but Martin was just defeated. So he's only 8-7 actually. But Martin isn't. I don't see Martin getting too discouraged. He's a real word lover and love of the game kind of player. I've never really seen him exhibit a lot of tilt one way or the other. I expect we're going to see his best shot one way or the other.
Yeah. I echo that sentiment for sure. So this is one of the last tournaments of the calendar year, but it's always great to bear witness to this gigantic field. It's pretty much the only open left in North America that attracts a large amount of players.
Wow,
Um,
that's kind of wild.
yeah, I mean, it used to be. I feel like, I mean, you know about the Crescent City Cup, obviously three-time winner. Um,
Should have been
I feel
four,
like it
Josh. Should have
used
been
to
four.
be. Yeah, I always want more.
Oh yeah, we
Oh
were
yeah,
we were most
hmm
ready.
absolutely.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'll do. I don't know how much more I remember of that movie, but I'm going to do my best to do some more illusions.
hmm
Yes,
Let's
sir.
do it. Yeah, as I was saying, as the players unsquare the tiles, don't try that in Scrabble, not a word. Um,
D
didn't
square.
it used to be that the Cali or the Crescent City Cup was more of an open than it is now?
That's right. It was kind of a trend for a minute there, and I can't really say what drove it, except that I think it was novel and it was a draw and just a way to differentiate yourself with the big Dallas Open. I remember, which was 120 players deep. That was one of, and I'm grateful for those tournaments because when I was an up and comer, that was one of my first chances to play experts in a competitive setting. I remember I played Joe Edley in that Dallas Open, and I didn't win, but I was close enough that it made me feel like expertdom was in reach. And he also just seeing the way he thought about the game was really and the way that he studied words and knew word knowledge was really it really caught my attention.
Yeah, it's a super good format, especially for newer players, up and coming players. As we see the first tiles come out for Zach, AEHLMOO. He's aligned them in alphabetical order. First thing jumping out of me is Moolah, Moolah.
Oh,
Seems
that's
pretty
beautiful.
good.
I was fixated on Maho, Mahoe. Forgive my briskettiness. Moolah is probably the one. I wonder, yeah, look at that. Awesome. Sweet.
Wow.
Oh man, in the zone. This is really cool. Yeah, I've been I I mean Zach has been taking on all come yeah, he sees them both. This is great. So Zach
Season
in the
both.
zone.
So I like to think that an ideal opening move in most situations takes around 1 minute. I've actually found myself recently looking at my clock after my opening play and seeing exactly 24:00. This is close. A minute and 20 seconds for Moolah, which I think is the top play here for Zach. So great start.
Right, but
But
Martin's going to strike immediately with Vespers. Look at that. Took him no time at all to get that on the board. Very nice.
yeah, awesome. Awesome, awesome. 88. So that is maybe Zach thinking he should have played Maho after that, not giving back the double with Vespers, but
Right. That's one of those 2020 hindsight kind of things. And Martin, if there's one thing I'll say about Martin, Martin is a genius and has really good knowledge of obscure words. He's not a massive studier in my experience, which is all the more impressive because he's an expert, and being an expert usually involves learning a lot of Scrabble specific words, but he's kind of, in my experience, always gotten by just on his base knowledge of words, which is just just really impressive. He taught me once the bingo Pyengadu. I think he played that in a tournament. Pyengadu, and it was a word that he knew from life that he just played. It was really impressive. It's a leguminous tree native to India and Myanmar, and he just, yeah, very cool.
that's awesome. And Martin's drawn into ticks, which fits next to the SPE of Vespers, and it feels like that's not going away necessarily? Or could we see Zach play if and PI? Or do you have to do something else like fisty or feisty or reify under the MOO? What are you liking here, Jesse?
Yeah, we're going to learn a lot about Zach's style based on what he does here. I think reify makes a ton of sense. It's just a lot of points, and doesn't close the board up too much since he's had a bit of a deficit. I I think I am. I don't particularly love fisty or feisty because the Y in the triple word score feels like it's just going to get back a lot of free points a lot of the time. I think I quite like. I think I like reify here myself.
Yeah, I do too. It does open that left triple, of course, for 5 letter words. Um, and yeah, I agree. I'm not a fan of putting Ys in triples. Just feels so dangerous a lot of the time. But this is 32, leaves the board open, opens a big lane underneath, very aggressive actually. This will not block
Right.
ticks, but it will make it less appealing, keeping 5 consonants rather than 4 for Martin. But I think still the play you have to make here, I don't think you're sacrificing 18 points to play fix under the OLA.
Yeah, Martin is a fast player, by the way, in my experience. And if Zach is a bit more methodical, as you suggested, that's going to be an interesting dynamic. Oh
Oh,
my God. I thought he was going to try out require or something.
but Quiver is 76 to the
Oh
V of
my
Whispers.
goodness. Oh, yeah. He's not missing that. Yeah,
Yeah,
feisty to me felt like a massive gamble, like very, very aggressive, as you said. But playing off your E really deteriorates that back. EIR versus IR. IR has a lot of disaster potential, which Zach has conveniently skated around, drawing quiver, and he's not missing that. He's just going to make sure he's not missing an even bigger bingo, which that's a classic thing that happens. Because if you had a T, it would have Torquay, or that's only one. But a lot of times you spot a big power tile play and you can miss the power tile bingo for a bajillion points. So I think he's just taking an extra second to make sure he's not missing something else. But you quiver, whew, 76.
let me hear him say it right after you. So 138 to 143. Martin's still in the lead after that early bingo and X bomb following it. This board still has so much potential for huge plays. Like you said, 1 letter off of not require Querier for like 120. But Martin still has to sort through his consonant situation here, but he conveniently has a great way to do it with TEGG, TEGG, on top of MOO. You said he's a fast player. We can see that already. Under 20 minutes for Zach, and only a minute and 40 seconds taken for 2 turns for Martin. Zachary, on the other hand, like I said, very deliberate. He wants to make sure he's tracked, that the scores are correct, that everything is in order before looking at his tiles, and taking the extra minute, like Nigel does, to make sure he's not missing something bigger.
Right. I mean, half the time, as a commentator, I feel like I say things about the players and they immediately do whatever is in their power to disprove me. But what's he? Oh, he's going for Treff here. And Treff, this is going to be a big swing because it's going to allow Zach big K plays like Irk underneath Mullahs. And with something like Teg, as you mentioned, those would have gotten blocked. So this is actually quite a big swing in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and yet it does feel like the spot under the FE, although maybe not as dangerous on average, blocking that double double for so many 7 letter words does feel like a nice idea with the small lead. But yeah, it turns out that that wasn't the spot to block for Martin, and he's just kept two G's for no reason. But look at that draw. He's got the
Right.
ing and the blank. Zach looking at Volk, which is his highest scoring underlap of the MOO. Sorry, overlap.
OL remains invalid. I tried that earlier today. Didn't go very well.
Try it as in you played Scrabble.
No, no. Why would I do that? I wonder if he should have thought about Irk there. Irk keeps the V, but it does undouble the R. IRR is kind of a nightmarish combination to keep. IR is already bad. IRR, well, I have trauma related to IR, but besides that, IRR is just really quite bad. Of course, he could just draw the perfect tiles to make it turn it into D. Draw T, draw an S. Okay, well that I mean, yeah, he danced his way out of it again with a great draw, but I really don't like IRR very much.
Yeah, very many reasons to play Irk instead. Another one is to keep the O for EXO, but he's redrawn two O's. So yeah, sometimes you'll just draw yourself out of it. But the reason not to keep IRR is if you reach in the bag and look at 10 different draws, you're probably gonna like two of them.
Yeah, but it works out. It's playable, and we keep going. And I agree that Treff. I'm not. I don't. I think it was a pretty reasonable play in the circumstances, and he did get rewarded, but he can't bingo immediately, which is interesting. And I don't even really see any scoring plays or kind of waiting moves that I even enjoy very much here. I don't think he's going to be tempted to open, especially either, given the game situation. So, what does that leave him with?
Yeah, it's I mean, the only real way to open is to play something through the A of Moolah, like gating. I don't see the problem with that, to be honest. With the blank, you benefit from an open board, but often you can just maneuver your way out of bad situations with the blank. So we see Martin pivoting to a fishing play, playing one tile, keeping DGINT blank, which is extremely strong. And he's drawn a D, which is not one of the words, one of the letters he wanted. And Uri coming down immediately for Zach, setting up the R, but also setting up a huge scoring spot, which he probably thinks Martin can't hit that often.
Wow, that is so interesting. Because Uri didn't feel so far away from a bingo. I would have thought about potentially just trying to fish in return. A lot of times, if your opponent fishes, that's a great time to fish yourself because you don't want to open either most of the time, right? Well, I don't know. That kind of contradicts what you were saying about setting up a scoring spot. So it's nuanced. It's a tough. It's yeah. I really don't know actually, but either way, Martin is going to get his bingo down. So his strategy did work out. I don't actually think Martin had a bingo if Zach didn't give him one, right?
No, he didn't. He could have just played OOR, and I actually really prefer that to Uri, even with the inference that Martin's far away from having a big scoring play. I
Right.
think Ur was the play, and this does give Martin two options, but both options are not obviously words. Totting, tedding. Is he going to pass them up? He's got dig lined up.
Yeah,
Be
this
unsure.
could be a case of that book life knowledge or book knowledge versus study knowledge, where you might just not be that confident in totting or tedding, which are high probability, but not they're kind of Scrabble only. And Zach, in return, he has some interesting stuff here. He could play Raj and a quiver, next turn. He could play Major and me for 54. So this is going to be if Martin, well, even if Martin bingos, if he plays something like Totting and TI and OE, he's going to get back jogs for 60.
Yeah, and you
So,
know what's crazy? I'm looking forward as well. Like after Totting Tetting, it's probably better to play Jags. Look how many A's are still out. There's only one A
oh,
played in this entire game. So that would be really interesting. It looks like Martin's considering playing adding. He's got DIDNG separated from the other tiles. So definitely a big mistake not to bingo here. He can get 71. Adding's only 18. That blank is not making up the difference there. But still, if he plays adding, it's a strong play. And Zach's going to probably have a small advantage, but that blank, super useful for the long term. We'll see if Martin runs into trouble, though, with those unseen A's. There's still 5 N's out, 3 U's, 2 W's.
wow. And adding really doesn't tell me that you have a blank in reserve in Zach's shoes, right? Like, if you asked him right now, what are Martin's last 2 lists? I would probably say something like 2 consonants, or you just really, or maybe like another D or something. It just really doesn't look like he has the blank there. And maybe that Zach will be comfortable playing Major here, not thinking that he is more likely to use the S hook on Major potentially. Is a really interesting dynamic here. Like, why did my opponent play what they did? And I don't think he's going to expect Martin to have the rack, Martin to have the blank on his rack.
But Jesse, like if you think one turn before, a 1 tile play for 11.
Right.
So weird. Like what's going on here? But Major coming down, only 1 S to be afraid of, and 2 blanks. So I think you have to do that. I mean, 50 points, even if your opponent gets a bingo down, you still have chances to come right back into it. I think this is a correct play. And if Martin doesn't use the S hook, Zach's averaging 40, 50 in that spot. So I like this.
Right. It was good for him not to be too timid. That's right. The Feg play followed by adding, it almost looks like your opponent's just giving up on a non-blank rack. It's a tricky one to interpret.
All right,
And
back to
here,
Martin. So look at this. He's drawn pretty balanced, but there's only one bingo, Jesse.
Autodyne.
Auto dying
Autodyne?
is correct. That is the one bingo playing through the N of adding that was just opened up. But in this case, if Martin doesn't see that, it is a tough one making the blank a U. Heady from the H of Mullahs is 43, keeping the blank behind. So that's not much worse, if worse at all.
Yeah, I wonder. I think he should find Hetty. Martin, to be clear, is a great anagrammer. I think he's fully capable of finding Autodyne as well. I don't see him as the kind of person who gets too frustrated with having the blank for multiple turns. He's more of the each turn is a puzzle kind of mindset in my estimation. The longer he spends with this rack, though, the more worried I get. The fact that he hasn't just gone for Hetty, maybe he's going down the tunnel of really just trying to. I mean, Hetty does leave the plays to the right of Major open, and that could also be a source of concern for him. I could see that he may be focused exclusively on plays that go to the right of Major.
Yeah, I mean that is a huge spot. So maybe, yeah, maybe. Obviously, I think you look for bingos for at least a couple of minutes here, and then where do you pivot to is the question. And that spot next to Major, like you said, is huge. But Heady for 43, just going full aggro. And look at this, 14 and a half minutes now. So the jinx is real. Martin 3 minutes lower on the clock than his opponent. It's probably going to take him
Right.
a couple minutes here.
Well, yeah, and this is kind of what blank racks. This is one of the challenges of not finding your blank bingos is that those are usually expensive turns, and he's already had 3 of them with Feg adding, and yes, he is going to block major as we discussed. And
Oh,
I think that's a little too conservative. I would have really loved him to find Hetty. In fact, keeping majors open is probably good with the blank because he could bingo there using the blank as an S. Um, and yeah, I think I'm a little bit surprised actually that he went. This feels like it felt like a very risk averse decision ultimately.
definitely risk averse is the word I'm looking for there for sure. I mean that spot is so huge, and with the blank, you definitely feel like if you can block that spot. But what's funny is Yet doesn't fully block it. ST words are a
Good
thing.
point.
Um, it just feels like you're giving easy 3 tile overlaps. Your leave isn't so palatable, especially keeping an A with so many unseen. But um, over to Zach now, who's up 22, but probably not super comfortable with the WU combination. Nowhere to play Uwu, nowhere to play Wood. I think you have to keep the U and just play Paw. He's got that lined up. That plays pretty nicely um, with a quiver.
I think he was also considering unwet to the T for 27, which would get rid of the U and the W at least, leaving APS, which is moderately good. I also see Wade underneath Mullahs, so he could do Wade, Cow, La, and HE. That's 31, keeping NPSU. Not the most thrilling combination. Uh, Adding does take an S as well, I do believe. So having that S is quite valuable. I think this is a fine choice. Has a decent chance of bingoing next turn. Keeping the E is important. Um, but yeah, as you said, he may be up on the scoreboard temporarily, but not really comfortably so.
So tell me something, Jesse. Have
Uh
you, when you were a child, did
oh
you
no.
have a Walkman?
No, it was I was a little young for it, and it was something the cool older kids had, and I can't really say that I ever had one.
Because I'm pretty sure that balado, Balado, is slang for baladeur,
Oh wow,
which means Walkman. So that's my very obscure reference for you. But yeah, I like
that's
Paul. I
excellent.
think Paul was the correct play. Again, those lots of A's unseen. The ENSU is good balance, and the S is super useful, like you said. It does look very good. Zach's drawn into Goldens, which fits in multiple spots now, with ST as well. So he's not going to be able to get blocked in any reasonable capacity. You might not be sure of addings, but this looks like bad is the choice by Martin. That's his highest score, 31 points, keeping ALO blank. And
Right,
he's
but
trailed
going
by,
on turn number 4 with the blank, which stings for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Definitely could, if it wasn't such a puzzle-oriented player, get very frustrating at this point that you haven't been good. But looks like with this draw, it's probably going to happen next turn. Yeah, does Zach play Goldens with ST or with addings? I mean, I feel like the position with ST is so much stronger. So I think you just do that.
That is what I would expect. Um, yes. I thought when he had it alphagrammed, I thought he was gonna slide naturally into Goldens, but he may either not see it or not be confident in it.
It is it's a medium probability word. If you study often, you're going to see it. But Zach, having taken some time off the game, coming back very strong, I should add. Golden's not the easiest word to spot. It has a very weird formulation ending in NS.
Sure.
The G to be at the end of the word. With the N, there's just a lot of things that this word isn't that you might think to look for. So, lunge.
Where's that going to go?
Fit with, it's just lunged. It's a pretty good play. Nudged would be probably better in that same spot.
Sure. DS, quite good.
Yeah, this is a big miss. It's going to give Martin a chance to take a lead now, and he's found
Lanthorn.
Wow, he's found it so fast. That's amazing. That's his highest scoring bingo. 78 points.
Very Martin to miss, and not to give him a hard time, but very Martin to miss Totting and find Lanthorn. I gotta say.
Yeah, and he's just confirming our suspicions. That is a blank R. So 335 to 306. Beautiful find. And now I have to see what Zach's drawn once he does his paperwork. We'll see if he's filled up his rack nicely. He could draw a Z. He could draw the other blank. He could draw a bunch of things, but CIISU is the draw.
No E on the board for suicides. Wow.
That's that's probably the only 8 with these racks.
Sciurids through an R, SCIURIDS. He's going to challenge Lanthorn. That makes sense. It's obscure enough. I'm not surprised.
Oh yeah, it's an easy challenge if you're not sure. So an extra 5 points for Martin. His lead is 34 points now. Zach trailing 34 has the opportunity here to score somewhat nicely, and I think another reason to just quadruple check that Lanthorn is valid is you want to put an S on it this turn. You have 2
That's
S.
right. He could just play IDS right now. IDS and Lanthorns. That's the classic is I've seen this many a time in a Collins game. Check if it's good, throw the S on it immediately. I guess he could also go for something like Disci, DISCI, and IT. I don't really know that there's any benefit in doing that. He could do Cusp, but that would keep 2 I's, which is IIU is a really poor combination. Martin immediately fills up with the other blank. Wow. But it's going to be a slog again because he's drawn a boatload of constants with a. Oh man, this is going to get very interesting.
Disci, I thought you found that incredible overlap above the ANTHO of Lanthorn. That would be worth it, potentially. 35 points.
Oh, that is 100% worth it. That is cool. Wow.
The U definitely the worst part, though.
Zach is definitely capable of finding that. In fact, he almost had it. I thought he was about to line it up. If he swaps the I and the D, he's got it right there.
But here's the thing, Jesse. If you imagine that play on the board, that creates a killer ZE spot, or even just BEA, WEA, or that's not a word, WEA, OWE, WE. There's just a lot of words that go on top of the IS specifically.
Right.
So maybe that would convince me otherwise. I think IDS is the play for 36. You take a small lead. Try to fill up your rack with some good stuff. There is a U unseen, a W unseen. But playing 5 tiles. I mean, going for that final blank. That final blank is going to be so crucial here. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
he
tough.
lined it up.
Wow, that's a beautiful find.
And given Martin's actual rack, he can't actually reply to Diski for too many points.
Yeah, this if he plays this overlapping play, he's going to have an advantage. I'm calling it because the likelihood of drawing that Z, and the likelihood of that staying open without a
Right.
just unreasonable blocking play, like what is I guess with INT. Oh, INT is available, so maybe not. Maybe not. If Martin sees the new 3-letter word T hook on IN after Diski, Bant there looks quite strong.
Wow.
Interesting one though.
Layers upon layers.
That's our game.
And
Wow.
did he see the Diski spot? We're only going to know when he puts it down. I almost think Diski is so many points that it would seem irresistible if you had spotted the Lanthorn overlap. It's going to be a big offset if he does it above it and doesn't do ids. He's going for ids. I think that's very reasonable. In fact, it makes if he knew that his opponent had the blank, that's probably what you would want to do. You probably would want to minimize turnover and try to draw your way into a bingo the natural way.
Yeah, definitely. Just keep whatever good tiles you have left because you're kind of going to need them. So it's coming down 342 to 340. This one is a nail biter. Martin with the final blank, but we have to see what Zach draws out of the bag. Still lots of room for him to draw bingo on this board. With that
Huge tournament implications based on what comes out of the bag.
Oh, that's close. That's a pretty
Almost
good draw.
cuisine.
So over to
Sluicier
Martin.
through the L doesn't play. The L is in the wrong place. Sluicier.
Cruzy.
Oh, Cruzy, yes, that's the one. 7-letter Cruzy.
Oh my god, and it plays under Lanthorn too, and it plays under Lunge. Oh my gosh. Okay, that is a very, very important word to see. I didn't see it. You didn't see it.
Very important. Yes, I didn't see it immediately.
Martin's gonna go with his original thought of BANC for 16. Bon. Got to pronounce it that way. He had the really cool option of playing can, extending treff.
Very nice.
Can treff. If you wanted to score some more points, but this looks definitely like the best play to me. The leave is so strong.
Zach, are you gonna find Cruzy? Huge moment of truth, because especially because Martin's filled up with some really good letters here. It's basically Cruzy or bust.
Yeah, he's gonna bingo Martin for sure. Doesn't mean even if Zach misses this, doesn't mean it's over, but super important to find it. If he pivots to something else, what I'm concerned about is if he plays Cruise for 36 in BANCS. And the reason he would do that and not play Cruzy is just because it's a Collins only word. Zach is not super versed in Collins yet, coming from the North American lexicon. But Cruise for 36 with BANCS would make sense to try and go for the blank, but that blank's on Martin's rack, so that would be a pretty bad outcome.
Well, if you can get whoever bingos first is also might be more likely to draw the Z, which is still hidden for both of them.
Yeah, and I mean, normally the Z is a strong tile, and there's no. Yeah, it's a strong tile on this board too. Top right, just Za, Zo, Zay for 50 points.
Exactly.
That's huge.
Where does your Riak even go on this board?
Good question. Maybe he's just seen the word and maybe wants to play it. Iruchik plays there through the C.
That's right.
That
The David
infamous
Eldar classic.
David Eldar, yeah. But yeah, it doesn't seem like Cruzy's been found. Martin has a huge advantage if Zach misses this, but still not over no matter what.
Well, you're also never going to try Cruzy if you don't recognize it immediately. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely know. So yeah, if not, Cruzy ruin through the blank R of Lanthorns keeps the best leave, CEIRS, but it's 8 points. I don't like that at all, even without the bingo available.
Cruz is going to leave Anatoxic or Anatomic, which Anatomic I think Martin would find for sure. He's thinking just Uric for 12.
Oh, is he missing that A hook? Oh no, Uric takes an A hook, so it sees that he's got a bunch of options now, making, or actually just one option, making Oricatonias. That's the first word you see on this rack, make the blank an S. So this is a huge
There it
moment. Yeah, he
goes.
sees
Yeah.
it. Actually, he could have been playing that with OMS, but no. Yeah, Zach's probably gonna be like, oh my gosh, oops. But he still has a chance to bingo out here. If he bingos out, he wins. There's exactly 7 tiles in the bag.
Oh, if Martin draws the Z, and Zach draws bingo tiles, that's going to be insane.
No matter what, a bingo is gonna win. Martin's only
Any
up
bingo
80
wins.
here.
Any bingo wins. You're kidding me.
All right, here it comes.
I mean, if that's the case, should Martin bingo there? Should Martin not bingo?
Oh, is that the dagger? There is no bingo with this nice looking rack. That is game over. Oh my goodness. One letter off, Zach Dang, if you just drew an N instead. But he does
in Spanish, he has aceites.
But you
like
know what he does have?
olive oil. What does he have?
He has an extension of Atonias.
He has catatonias? Get out of here.
We love
that's
this
outrageous. Get out
Is
of
it
here.
his best end game? Probably not. Because it doesn't go out.
Is it a million style points? Absolutely yes.
It's a 20 point mistake to play Catatonias, but not in our hearts. Wow. That would be just, I mean, that's a moral victory. Anywho, well, unfortunate. Both players making some mistakes mid game here, but the final mistake, Uric, is the one that decides who's going to win here. So yeah, like you said, huge implications. Martin going to go to 9-7, which doesn't really change all that much. If he does well tomorrow, he'll cash. But Zach now going to lose another game, 2 in a row.
Tantalizingly within reach. And let's see if any other results are trickling in here. And Barath lost, who was the other player who was a game behind Ben. So basically, if Ben wins, he's going to be 2 games up on the field going into the final day. Also, remarkably, Evans Clinchy 681 last round. That's a big number. Rarely gets any bigger than that. We're eavesdropping on the director's conversation here. I'm just letting the gentle murmur of Scrabble play us out for the day. If you're Zach here, do you think about playing something like Cray, Cray, maybe to block those big Z plays? I guess there's Zap. What is the most painful Z play here?
Yeah, I mean it's just Zarze in the top right, right?
Right. So is attempting to do something like, I mean, he could play Trey for no, never mind. Darn. I was trying to get him. He could play EE for 14, saving catatonias. That would be pretty special.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, brutal. It just feels so close to something. You're just gonna you just gotta keep looking until you give up, and it's about the time to give up. Minute 35 left on the clock.
That's right. He doesn't have the certainty that we do that there's nothing in there. It looks very wordy, very promising. He may even just try the most plausible looking bingo that he can come up with. Even though I think
like acetize. What's the most plausible bingo here?
Aceite de well, in Spanish, an olive is aceituna, and then aceite is olive oil.
Aceite? Ceite?
Aceite and aceituna, aceituana, which is originally from Arabic.
I thought it was originally from fish. And Martin hasn't even arranged his letters. He's probably just too. He's probably scared that there's something. Exactly. He knows the bag is empty. So AE coming down. So Catatonias is dead. Sad.
But still blocking the Z threat.
Yeah, according to the engine, this is. It isn't even there, but it looks like a very strong play to me.
Well, I wonder if he could have gotten 3 turns in, or planned for having 3 turns, and then you do EE, then you do catatonias, and then you put the S somewhere. But it's all moot at this point.
Yeah, I think you couldn't really do that because of the threat of wands, WAN.
Yes,
but yeah, Zap coming down and sights to go out. That'll be it. Let's put that in. The final score, 476 Martin, 403 to Zach. Dang.
Dang indeed. But it looks like Ben was defeated by a substantial margin, so he is not going to go into the final day up by 2 games. He's only going to be up by a lone game, and he's got a bunch of strong players lurking right behind him. 1 game behind, hot on his heels are going to be Wellington Jaguar, Barath, Enoch and Wally, and Zach Dang. So it is going to be it's going to be a furious race to the end tomorrow, and yeah, Ben is going to have to. He's not going to coast to a win. He's going to have some people making his life harder.
Yeah, it might be a photo finish here in the 2025 California Open. Both divisions tight at the top. Lots of stuff can happen. How many more games tomorrow? 5, 4?
4 games. Yeah.
I'm not. I'm at a different tournament. It's just so confusing. Oh,
absolutely.
But hey, Jesse, always a pleasure to commentate. Thank you so much for calling these games with me. That'll be it for me. Tomorrow, are you commentating again?
Yes.
Nice.
I will be doing. We'll have a mixture of Collins and TWL games tomorrow. So, if pick your poison, and it should be really exciting, high stakes Scrabble action.
Yeah, and for those that are watching on Twitch, don't forget to follow the Twitch channel, SF Scrabble. This is the first and hopefully a yearly stream, official stream at the California Open tournament. Love to see the work that's being done. Huge thanks to Ed. Also thanks to you, Jesse. You've been helping. You've been producing today as well. So couldn't do without you. It's looking great.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun. I'll see you all tomorrow.
All right.